Every night, your body lies still. Your eyes close. The world disappears. And you think you're just resting, but you're not. Because while your body sleeps, your soul travels. It crosses thresholds unseen. It meets guides, shadows, and memories you thought were lost. It receives warnings, visions, and whispers of the future. Most people wake and forget. They dismiss the signs, treat the dreams as random noise, and live half their life blind. But what if I told you your soul sees more at night than your eyes could ever see by day? What if every strange dream, every sudden jolt before sleep, every face that appears in the dark wasn't random, but a message? A message that Edgar Cayce, the man they called the Sleeping Prophet, tried to warn us not to ignore. Tonight, we're going to open that hidden door. We're going to follow the soul into the unseen. And once you know what it truly sees, you'll never look at sleep the same way again. When the body surrenders to sleep, the soul does not rest. While your eyes close and the world of form disappears into darkness, another reality quietly opens. The soul leaves behind the weight of muscles, the rhythm of the breath, the boundaries of the skin, and it enters a vast, invisible realm. Most people believe they are unconscious at night, that sleep is nothing more than silence for the brain. But the truth is, you are never more alive than in those hidden hours when your body lies still. In that space, your soul observes. It travels, it learns, it remembers who you are, far beyond this temporary identity you carry in the daylight. Some nights, you may feel it. That sensation of falling, that sudden jolt that wakes you for no reason. It's not random. It's the subtle reminder that your soul is moving in and out of realms unseen. The hidden journey of the soul during sleep is not a dream, and it is not imagination. It is the nightly rehearsal of your eternal nature. And long before science tried to measure brain waves, there was one man who dared to speak openly about what the soul truly sees at night. Edgar Cayce, the Sleeping Prophet, a man who would close his eyes and enter that same hidden realm we all touch every night. But instead of forgetting, he returned with messages. Cayce spoke of sleep not as escape, but as a passage. He warned that while the body rests, the soul is busy, gathering, learning, remembering. He revealed that every dream carries a thread to the higher self. Some threads are tangled, confusing, symbolic. Others are clear, almost luminous, direct messages from beyond the veil. But Cayce also left warnings. He said that ignoring what happens in sleep is like throwing away half of your life, because the soul does not waste those hours. Only the waking mind does. Many dismissed his visions as fantasy. But as science advanced, discovering REM sleep, lucid dreaming, and near-death experiences, his words began to echo louder. Cayce believed that in the hours of sleep, you meet parts of yourself you cannot face in daylight. You encounter shadows, you receive guidance, and sometimes you see glimpses of the future before it arrives. The warnings were simple but urgent. Do not ignore your nights. Do not dismiss what your soul is showing you. Because the threshold of sleep is not just rest. It is the door. There is a moment so brief that most never notice it. The exact second when you are no longer awake, but not yet asleep. It feels like falling. It feels like floating. It feels like silence swallowing the noise of the day. This threshold is the passage every soul must cross. To step into the unseen. Mystics have described it as a doorway. Shamans have called it the crack between worlds. Scientists simply call it hypnagogia, the twilight state of the mind. But no matter the name, the experience is universal. The body begins to fade. Muscles grow heavy. The breath slows into rhythm. And in that pause, the soul begins its departure. Some hear a sound dash, a hum, a ringing, as if the body itself is a shell vibrating with release. Others feel a jolt, the shock of being pulled too quickly into the unseen. These are not accidents. They are signs, markers of your passage. And it is here, at this fragile edge, that the soul whispers truths you can't hear in daylight. Visions appear, faces, colors, fragments of memory, all weaving together like a prelude to the journey ahead. This threshold is the border between forgetting and remembering. And every night, whether you know it or not, you cross it. The question is, what happens once you step beyond? Dreams are not accidents. They are codes, symbols, reflections of a language. The soul has always known. To the rational mind, a dream looks chaotic. Faces appear and vanish. Places shift without warning. Time folds in ways that make no sense. But to the soul, every fragment is a thread. Every image carries meaning. Every scene is a message, spoken in the dialect of eternity. Sometimes the dream is simple. It replays the day, sorting through emotions left unresolved. But other times, it pierces deeper. It shows you fears you deny. It warns of choices you are about to make. It whispers of possibilities that haven't yet arrived. Prophets, poets, mystics, all understood this truth, that dreams are the letters your higher self writes, while the ego sleeps. And yet, most people discard them. They wake, they stretch, they brush their teeth. And the messages dissolve like mist in the morning sun. But those who pause, those who listen, discover that the dream is a map, a compass pointing toward healing, toward clarity, toward the path their soul is begging them to walk. The dream is not random. It is coded truth. And the more you learn to read it, the more your nights become revelations. When the dream deepens, something greater begins. The soul loosens its grip on the body. The heartbeat slows. The breath becomes shallow, and the astral body rises. Silent, weightless, free. For some, it feels like floating above the bed. For others, like being pulled by an unseen current. Walls, ceilings, distance, none of it matters anymore. You drift, not with muscles, but with intention. The astral body moves where thought directs it. One desire. And you are there. Mystics have described cities of light, realms beyond imagination, places where knowledge flows like rivers. Others have spoken of shadows, dense regions of confusion, where souls still cling to fear and illusion. And every night, whether you remember it or not, you step into this sea of possibilities. You meet guides, you encounter echoes of the past, you glimpse futures waiting to unfold. This voyage is not fantasy. It is the nightly rehearsal of death itself, and the reminder that you are far more than flesh and bone. Because when the astral body moves, you begin to remember the truth. The soul was never trapped. It was only visiting beyond the boundary of dreams. The soul meets others. Some encounters are gentle. A loved one who has passed, appearing with a smile so real that you wake with tears in your eyes. Others are mysterious. Guides, teachers, beings clothed in light, who speak without words, yet leave you with truths you cannot forget. But not all encounters are peaceful. There are shadows too, fragments of fear, echoes of unresolved pain, energies that test your strength. And here lies the great secret. Every encounter is a mirror. Each presence you meet beyond the veil reveals something your waking self has not yet faced. This is why remembering matters, because if you forget, you lose the lessons, you lose the guidance, you lose the chance to heal. If you've been feeling ready to not just dream, but to truly remember, I've created something for you. It's called the 19-Day Awakening. It's more than a journal. It's a sacred companion, a space to capture your nightly journeys, decode the symbols, and weave them into your waking life. You'll find it in the first pinned comment below, waiting for the moment you decide to go deeper. Because every encounter beyond the veil is a message. The question is, will you carry it back with you? Every night, without fail, the soul slips free. It doesn't ask permission. It doesn't wait for your awareness. It simply departs. But why? Why would the soul leave the safety of the body again and again, night after night? The reason is simple, and yet profound. The body needs rest, but the soul seeks renewal. In the realms beyond, the soul gathers fragments of wisdom. It releases the weight of the day. It heals from wounds the mind refuses to see. Some journeys are lessons, preparing you for choices you will face. Others are cleansing, burning away the heaviness you've carried too long. And sometimes the voyage is reunion. The soul visits those it loves. It returns to places it once knew. It remembers that this life is not the whole story, but just a chapter. This is why you often wake lighter, as if something invisible has been lifted. Your body may have slept, but your soul has been at work. The nightly departure of the soul is not an escape. It is a return to truth, a return to the vastness of what you are. And if you listen closely, you can bring pieces of that truth back into the light of day. Not every journey is remembered, but every journey leaves a trace. Sometimes it's a feeling, a sudden peace that makes no sense, or an unexplained heaviness that lingers through the morning. Other times it's sharper, a dream you can't shake, a symbol that keeps returning, a voice that still echoes when you wake. These are the messages your soul has carried back from the night. They may arrive as fragments, broken pieces scattered across memory. But if you gather them, if you write them, if you reflect on them, they begin to form a map, a warning about a path you're walking, a reminder of something forgotten, a glimpse of who you could become if only you dared to change. The messages are never random. They are invitations. They are clues, leading you closer to the truth your soul has always known. The tragedy is not that they are hidden. The tragedy is that most people ignore them. They wake, they rush, and the messages dissolve into silence. But those who listen, those who choose to remember, find that every night is not just rest, but revelation. The greatest danger is not what the soul sees at night. It is what the waking self refuses to remember. Every forgotten dream, every dismissed vision is a lost message, a seed never planted, a door left unopened. Forgetting creates a fracture. The body walks one path, while the soul walks another. And soon, life feels empty, as if something essential is always missing. This is why so many drift through the world, disconnected. They repeat the same patterns. They chase the same illusions. They feel a hunger they cannot name, because the wisdom of their nights never reaches the light of day. Edgar Cayce warned of this. He said that when we ignore the journeys of the soul, we cut ourselves off from half our existence. We live only in daylight and forget the universe that reveals itself in the dark. The danger of forgetting is not simply ignorance. It is disempowerment. It is blindness. It is surrendering the keys to your own awakening. But when you remember, you reclaim them. You see that every night was preparing you for the next day. Every symbol, every whisper, every vision was a gift waiting for you to open. To live awake while the world still sleeps is to carry the wisdom of the night into the brightness of the day. It means you no longer dismiss the whispers of the soul. You no longer treat your dreams as noise. You recognize them for what they are: messages, maps, reminders of who you truly are. Living awake is not about perfection. It is about presence. It is about walking through each moment with the awareness that you are more than flesh, more than thought, more than the small identity the world insists upon. When you live this way, you stop running from silence. You stop fearing the unknown, because you have seen, night after night, that the unknown is not empty. It is alive. It is speaking. And so you begin to move differently. You speak with intention. You listen more deeply. You follow the subtle pull of intuition, trusting that the soul knows the path long before the mind understands it. To live awake while others sleep is not to separate yourself. It is to shine as a reminder that everyone is capable of remembering, that every soul is already awake, just waiting for the moment when the body finally stops forgetting And in that remembering, life itself transforms. So now you know. Sleep is not an absence. It is a passage. Every night your soul leaves, travels, and returns with pieces of truth. Pieces that could guide you, heal you, awaken you. But the question remains, will you remember? Or will you keep letting the messages dissolve like mist in the morning sun? Because if you begin to listen, if you begin to record, reflect, and honor your nights, you will see life change. Decisions become clearer. Fears lose their grip. The future stops being a mystery and becomes a path already lit within you. So I'll ask you directly, what did your soul show you last night? And what part of you is ready to finally awaken? Share your answer in the comments. I want to know what stayed with you. And if you want to keep walking this path with me, subscribe to the channel, turn on the notifications, stay close. Because every week we dive deeper into the mysteries your soul is waiting for you to remember. The night is never empty, it is alive. And tonight, your soul will travel again.